channel. We are the Princess and the Sith. My name is Jess if you're new here.
I'm Nico.
And today we kind of have a different kind of video for you. More of an analytic type of video.
It's a rant.
It's a rant.
We're going to be ranting somewhat.
We've never done a rant. Oh, we did do a rant last week about the pretzel mom in Disney World.
Yeah, so we're going to continue to do some more of these rants.
We like having discussions with you guys about stuff.
Disney discussion. There we go.
No, someone already did that already.
Oh, okay.
We can't steal that.
That's just a Disney rant.
So, Nico, what are we talking about today? Because you in particular are very passionate about this topic.
So today we're going to talk about the modern Disney live-action movies, and namely the large amount of remakes, reimaginings, and sequels that Disney has been pumping out, especially within the last decade or so, 2000 to now 2019. So I guess the main thing we're trying to answer here is if Disney is creatively bankrupt in terms of their live action movies that they've currently been putting out. So when you look at a lot of the movies that they have been making lately, they've all been remakes, reimaginings, and sequels. And there's been tons of backlash thrown their way for these movies.
Yeah, you see people online saying, like, we don't want these movies, but yet everyone goes and see these movies, and they make so much money.
Yeah, go on Reddit, go on half these news sites, and there's articles just posted. I said, I'm done with Disney and their live action remakes. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of all these movies. And then guess what happens? A movie like Beauty and the Beast goes and makes over $1 billion at the box office.
That's probably one of the biggest ones.
The Jungle Book makes like $1 billion at the box office. So many of these movies have been so successful. Even Aladdin has done really well for Disney. So the question is, why have these movies done so well? Even though people are so against remakes, reboots, and sequels in today's day and age. And the real answer, I think, is that people don't realize how attached to the nostalgia they are. And Disney knows what people want. All right? Even if we don't. All right? So since you're a young kid, at least in our situation, but I guess in a lot of people's situations, you get a TV show or a movie, and you start watching that, and you watch it all the time.
Kids watch things over and over again. Nico watched Toy Story, I think, every day when you were little.
Yeah, every single day I was watching Toy Story.
Yeah, that was same with me, and like Alice, Peter Pan, Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast. Almost every day I'd watch one of those movies. And like, especially when you're a little kid, and I think these characters are so important. You get attached and they stay with you. They're not like other movies or other media. These characters, I think, are more relatable. I think there's a wide variety of them, so everyone finds someone who kind of they click with a character.
Yeah, so as a fan, you're pretty much conditioning yourself to want to support and watch this character, even if it's like a reimagining of this character.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you're invested in it. You want to know. Like, I loved Genie and Aladdin when I was growing up. And I thought Aladdin was going to be a terrible movie, the live action one with Will Smith. And even though I didn't want to see it, guess what? I went to the theater and I saw that movie and I actually really enjoyed it.
Yeah, we'll get to our opinions in a little bit. But yeah, we went. There was nobody, I think, more against the live action Beauty and the Beast than I was. I really, from the start, I was like, nope, don't think this is going to be good. I don't approve. Guess what? We went and saw it in the theaters. We paid to go see it.
I think it was like on opening weekend or something like that. Maybe the week after.
I did a Belle Disney bound. Like, yeah, of course I was gonna do it, even if I was against it.
So basically, throughout your whole life, Disney's relying on you to go out there and buy the merchandise, rewatch the movie, watch the movie again, and buy the movie again once it's released out of the vault. And it's just a cycle where you're constantly consuming their products and reinvesting and rebuying their same things they're putting out. So I don't blame them for continuing to make these movies, which are just based off of properties they already have. Because we want to watch this stuff.
Yeah.
So,
as much as you want to kind of look away and ignore it, you can't.
Yeah, it's like on one hand, I'm mad because like I want something new and I want to watch that, and then it's like they make something that isn't new and I go and watch it anyway, even though I'm mad. But
I know.
if you do look at the properties that Disney has made, which are sort of original, they haven't done well.
Yeah, especially the live action ones. I feel like the animated ones do well. Like Moana, which was original. Frozen, that was an original story for them based on a fairy tale, but they did their own thing with it. I think same with Moana, if I'm remembering correctly. And now we have that new Pixar movie Onward. Coco was an original story, and the animated ones are doing really well. But we're kind of talking about that the live action ones really aren't.
Yeah, you could look at movies like The Lone Ranger. You might have forgotten that came out.
You love Tron Legacy?
Tron Legacy, even though that was a sequel, not technically, it was kind of like a sequel reboot, but that was a good movie. Very original. I mean, it's not like anything else they have. And
but no one really.
What else was there? John Carter of Mars. No one saw that one, which is also a good movie. No one saw it.
Shout out to Disney Nessie, who commented that she likes it too.
Yeah, I think Disney Nessie and me are the only two that have ever seen it. So, you can even look at things such as Pete's Dragon and the BFG. Those
Did
movies
they really go anywhere? Are people still talking about him?
Do you remember those movies? Until we sat down, we're looking at a list. I was like, oh my god, I forgot that came out. Oh yeah, and I saw it. Maybe because I like Disney a little bit too much.
But you know what's funny though, because we were also looking at this list at some of the early to that late 90s, early 2000s, and there were movies that we didn't even know were by Disney. Like, do you guys remember like The Pacifier? What was that? A Freaky Friday? Like, we were like, those are Disney movies.
Into the Woods. I didn't realize that was a Disney movie.
That was like later, but
I know, but I'm just saying, like, there's some.
We were like, oh wow, like those did well for some reason, even though I feel like we don't remember them being Disney movies. But these modern ones, kind of like 2010 on, like they're not doing very well.
Yeah, 2010 on, it's all remakes and reboots, and original stuff is just not really.
I feel like starting with Alice in Wonderland. That was kind of the first big one that I think started this trend.
Even if you want to go with properties Disney's acquired, like the Star Wars movies, like Force Awakens was like just a rehash of the original Star Wars, New Hope. Then you have the Marvel movies, which are kind of grabbing a lot of source material from the comics. So even with that, and that was already put in place before Disney even bought that. So it's like, what live action things has Disney put forth that have really succeeded that are original? And I think people are craving it, whether they know it or not, and maybe they've just been off the mark. But while people out there can be mad about all these movies that have come out, honestly, the nostalgia brings us back.
They do.
Right?
So what are your opinions, Nico, of like remakes, reboots in general? Like, not even counting these, like, not your opinion specifically on these, but just the idea of having a remake in general of a movie that you've loved.
I'm trying to think of a movie I've loved where the remake came out and that was like so good and like maybe better than the original. I can't really think of one.
You can't think of anything that was better?
Not really.
I mean, I have to say, in my opinion, I'm not super against it. I love seeing different interpretations of things. Not meaning that I'm not going to be critical. Actually, unpopular opinion. One of my favorite movies of all time is actually a remake. Tim Burton's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Now, funny thing, I was never attached to the Gene Wilder version. So maybe there's that disconnect for me. But it is a remake. I did see the Gene Wilder one. And I was very open and I loved it. To this day, it's one of my favorite movies. But honestly, I'm pretty open, but I'm still critical. And I'm still, especially when it's something that like I really love, then I could be extra critical. But I'm still like, all right, like I'm going to give it a chance.
You know what? I thought of one while you were talking.
Oh, okay.
Godzilla. I like the new Godzilla movies. They've been good.
The new one that just came out?
Well, I didn't see the new one that came out, but I saw the new one before that sequel to the new one came out. See, this is getting confusing now.
Yeah,
but
it is. There's so many.
There are so many. But Godzilla was good. King Kong, I thought was good, pretty good.
But there's
I love the original Ghostbusters. Great movie. I tried to watch the remake. You know, it had some good things about it, but I didn't fully enjoy it. I don't know. What else is there?
Yeah. There's just been a lot here, and it's funny because it's even outside of the Disney community where they're making, like, this is kind of our culture now.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's the way it is now. And
Yeah. Do you want to give your opinion on any of the Disney live action movies?
do you want this movie to be an hour long?
I don't know.
So should we do our opinions in order or just kind of
whatever you
talk
want to do?
about them? Alrighty, so
we have no general script or formula here. Sorry.
Yeah,
guys.
We're just kind of doing this. Well, we've actually organized. The one thing we did organize for this video, we kind of put like all the recent modern live action Disney movies into like 3 categories: remakes, reimaginings, and sequels. We're starting with Alice in Wonderland on. We're not gonna do like the 101 and 102 Dalmatians.
Yeah, that's cool.
And there was another Jungle Book before that.
Yeah, do you know they did live action Jungle Book twice?
Yeah.
How do you feel about that now?
All right, so the remakes are Cinderella, The Jungle Book, Beauty and the Beast, Dumbo, Aladdin, and Lion King. So basically, pretty much following the same formula, just in live action form. Slight changes, but overall following the same thing. The only reimagining we have is Maleficent, because the ending was different. It was through another perspective. They really changed the story a lot. I know, Dumbo I'm a little iffy about if it's a remake or a reimagining. Because the end, it was very different.
It was very different. You know, I guess it could be a reimagining.
Yeah, maybe Dumbo is. We put it for remake, but I'm iffy. And then the sequels are Alice in Wonderland. Both of them, because Alice in Wonderland was Alice many years later. This was like a picking up at a different time period. Christopher Robin and Mary Poppins Returns. So those are the sequels. So overall, I'm a little mixed, but it seems like just critically the remakes are the ones that are doing the best. No, I got that wrong. I think the sequels did the best.
I don't know. I think it's hit or miss.
Yeah, like
for me, I think the majority of them have just been mediocre.
Really? Has anyone of them really stood out to you?
I think the only 2 that really stood out to me overall were Mary Poppins and Christopher Robin.
You love them. Those are both sequels.
Those are both fantastic movies.
I agree.
And they had a lot of original things put to an old idea. And I like when they take an old idea and reapply it in a different way.
But they weren't remakes. Both of them were sequels.
Yeah, I think that's why they were better.
Because they still had the heart, but yet it was about something new.
Yeah, because it's so hard to capture what makes an original story good. Because once you know the story beats and you know how it goes, and then you try and translate something from animation, which you have nostalgia towards, to a live action movie, it just doesn't carry over properly. I don't know why. But...
So those are your 2 that you really loved. I gotta say, this honestly might be one of my favorite movies of all time, but Cinderella. That movie was like jaw-droppingly incredible in my opinion. I've never seen a movie that just encompassed my life values, just like positivity, spirit. I know you thought it was girly.
It was girly. It was good. It was girly.
He took me to the
movies
the day it premiered. I was so excited.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Glad you enjoyed it.
But I thought that movie was perfect. I will defend it. Some people have very strong opinions about it. I've literally have had, not arguments, but like strong discussions with people about why this movie is just perfect. And again, just my opinion, guys, but I defend that movie a lot.
Critically speaking, it's actually one of the better movies from 2010 onwards in terms of live action.
I think Jungle Book was like the pinnacle. Like I think that one did the best. And then I think Cinderella came second.
I think so. Looking at Rotten Tomatoes, that is.
Yes. From that. And I have to say, so if we're going to do a mini ranking, Cinderella would be first. I really loved Christopher Robin, Mary Poppins. I feel like I don't love one more than the other. They were both amazing. Both encompassed that magic for me. And then I'd say Aladdin. I liked Aladdin.
Yeah. I don't know if Aladdin was as good as Christopher Robin and Mary Poppins, but it was a fun movie.
It was so fun.
And that's what was good about it. You know, that's all Disney really has to do with these movies. Make them fun and not boring.
Yeah.
Then more people would go see it, unless people wouldn't complain as much, honestly.
Yeah, just keep that heart. Like Aladdin had the heart of the original.
Yeah, let the people get a little bit creative with it, but don't completely kill the source material.
They had differences. Will Smith kind of took Genie in his own direction, but it was still very fun. All right, so let's get into our critiques.
Okay.
So this video is going to be like an hour long. So let's start with you. before I go on my little rant. So which ones were you really like not a fan of? We have our little list down here so we remember.
I guess out of all these, the one that I disliked the most probably would have been Dumbo. Just to be straight up honest. Like, I don't know why that movie was made. And I know you thought Dumbo was cute.
Oh, Dumbo was so cute. That was the only thing I loved about it. He was so cute.
Know. I didn't see what anyone thought was cute about that.
He was a cute CGI elephant. But the plot, no, we didn't like.
The plot was terrible.
We didn't like the characters.
The acting was stale. So many of the characters were just completely underdeveloped. And I was not impressed at all by anything in Dumbo. And it was sad because I actually had a pretty decent cast. But
yeah.
I don't know.
And I love the original Dumbo. And I feel like that's where, like, yeah, I would put this in a reimagining category. That's where I think if they were going to do it, maybe they should have stuck to the original source material better. It's a little bit more familiar to people. They really just kind of, I wouldn't say scrapped it completely, but they changed pretty much the entire thing and added these human characters that I felt like were really stale.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So that's probably your least favorite?
Dumbo's my least favorite. And then I'm going to put Alice in Wonderland. I only saw the first one. I never saw the second one, actually.
Yeah, we never saw the second one.
But the first one, it was cool. To me, I felt like they were trying too hard to be Avatar, though.
I think it came out the same year.
Yeah, it was either the same year or the year after.
Yeah,
something
it was
like
around
that.
the same time.
And the whole 3D thing was big then. Everything was CGI then. And it just didn't look that good. He tried too hard, Tim Burton, to be too out there and weird with it. And it was just not an impressive movie. The story, I didn't think it was that good. I would have rather see them do a direct remake of Alice in Wonderland, beat by beat with the original story.
We will get to my rant
than
about
the
that in a little
sequel that they made to it, because that was I don't know, I didn't like that too much. And then if I had to choose one after that, I say it would be a toss up between Beauty and the Beast and Maleficent, because honestly, Maleficent, if Angelina Jolie and the guy who played the Mad King weren't there, it would have been terrible. All right, Angelina Jolie kind of single-handedly saved that movie, which is impressive in itself.
And they're making a sequel to it.
And Beauty and the Beast, it just wasn't as good as the animated one. Like, that's such a classic movie, and I will fight someone on that. It's a classic Disney movie, and you can't improve upon it.
Yeah.
So the changes that they did make to the movie really just brought it down, in my opinion. And yeah, those are the things I really didn't like, especially from these movies. Yeah.
So for my worst, I don't know. I think there's a tie between Alice in Wonderland and Beauty and the Beast. To me, I don't... Oh, where do I begin, Nico?
You just have to talk.
I just have to talk. Both of those movies crushed my heart. Because both of those animated movies meant so much to me. But I think Alice crushed my heart more because I thought it was going to be good. Beauty and the Beast, I kind of always had a feeling, even from the start when they announced it, I was like, no. So maybe Alice, because that was like a blow. Came out in how old was I in 2010? I think I was 13. And yes, I'm doing the whole story, Nico.
Okay.
You could like go take a nap or something.
See you later, guys.
Oh, you're laying down. So, little 13-year-old Jess was obsessed with Alice in Wonderland, kind of like I still am today. And I was so excited because I love Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and all Tim Burton's movies. So when I heard he was doing Alice in Wonderland, my little 13-year-old heart was beaming. Right, Nico? Oh, you didn't even know me back then.
I didn't know you then.
He could just imagine, though.
I have to take your word for it.
You have to take my word for it. I was beaming. I was so excited. And what I loved about Tim Burton back in the day is that he really liked using a mix between practical effects and CGI. So I was a little disappointed when he said he was going like full CGI for this one. But I was open-minded. Johnny Depp was the Mad Hatter. Helena Bonham Carter is the Queen of Hearts. I was excited. I literally was in denial the whole theater. I was like, oh, I like this movie. Yeah, it's good. I've been waiting like over a year for it. And then I think slowly when we came out of the theater, I was like, I didn't like it. I was so sad. I didn't like the girl who played Alice. I thought she was very stale. I didn't like the over CGI. I didn't like the plot. I felt like it was I didn't like that it was unmemorable. Like, kind of like what you said. Like, no one really remembers that movie for the story.
Yeah, like I think of it now, like, oh yeah, that movie came out.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people did like the imagery of it, and it was very quirky, but I didn't like it. I was angry. Beauty and the Beast. Kind of the same thing, actually. Except I knew it was going to be bad. Sorry, Emma Watson fans out there. No, not at all.
They should have got someone who could sing at least. Everything
Someone
was
who can sing, and I felt like she kind of sucked the life out of Belle. She just was very dry the whole entire time, and that took it away. And I didn't really like the sets. I don't know. It was just not for me.
It had some of the worst CGI.
Yes, that's what I was going for. Worst
it had
CGI.
some of the worst CGI. I thought some parts in Alice in Wonderland looked better.
Can you come back up to this?
You told me I could take a nap.
Come, you're not napping. I also just thought Beauty and the Beast was boring. Like, I even feel like if Emma Watson wasn't in it and it was someone else, yes, maybe it could have been redeemed a little bit, but I still thought everything else was kind of boring. I just didn't think it had much life to it. My mom, I tried watching it with her, and she's like, you've been talking about how much you hate this movie. Like, I want to see it. She couldn't get through 20 minutes. She was bored. And we love the original. So, yeah, those are my main two. Maleficent I thought was okay. To me, it was a solid okay. Kind of exactly what you said.
But I just want to put this out there, too. If you enjoyed any of those movies, that's perfectly fine.
Of course.
Because everyone has different opinions, and that's okay.
I could go on rants sometimes. Sorry. But yes, if you love it, let us know. And that's okay, because the best part about Disney is that you could be a fan of so many different mediums of what they create.
Yeah, there's so many different properties they own and different titles. Like, you could like Disney and not like half the stuff at Disney World.
Yeah.
Like, as weird as that is, but you know, whatever.
Exactly.
It's fine.
So if you like those movies, yeah, totally fine. We're just giving our opinions because, you know, we like having discussions and we like sharing these things. I like watching people talking about their opinions too. So we thought we'd share.
Yeah.
I could also go on and on about all those movies. That was the abridged version, so I wouldn't bore you guys.
Yeah, but we're already over 20 minutes into this,
I
think we should wrap this up.
We should totally wrap this up.
So if you hung out with us for this
oh
long,
my gosh, I'm
we
sorry,
really appreciate it. Please drop us a like down below if you enjoyed the conversation.
Yes, definitely. So be a part of the conversation. Comment down below. What do you think about these movies in general? What do you think about them specifically? Like, which ones did you like? Which ones do you not like? Did you agree with us? Did you totally disagree with us? Which is totally okay.
Yeah, of course. And subscribe for more. All right?
For more. Have a magical day.
May the force be with you.
Bye.